Big news coming in the Alabama transfer portal. Well, big because the guy leaving's big. 6'6" offensive lineman Elijah Pritchard, a former 4-star out of Georgia. He's leaving Tuscaloosa, and he'll try to find a new home. This is a loss for Alabama as they get ready to take on Michigan in this year's Rose Bowl part of the college football playoff. We don't want to lose you. We want to make sure that you stay part of our team. Here's your invitation to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Don't transfer. Be part of what we're doing here. Roll Tide. What do you say, everybody? And Roll Tide. Welcome to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. I'm Mick Gillespie at Broadcaster Mick on Twitter. All right, let's get this thing going. Let's talk about this. Tough time of year for a lot of programs, and Alabama certainly going to be one affected. We saw Ja'Cory Brooks transfer, and now he is going to Louisville. And that was one where you're like, hey, he never really lived up to his potential in Tuscaloosa. He had the great catch against Auburn and helped Alabama win that 4-overtime game with Bryce Young. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But the guy that I think really hurts is when you start losing those interior linemen, and I'm talking about Elijah Pritchard, redshirt freshman, and a guy that we've seen a lot this year. He battled Cade Proctor for the spot on the offensive line, and he came up a little bit short. Proctor ended up being an All-American, and I think that Pritchard would have definitely seen a lot of playing time next year, but he's leaving, and he joins Jones Bell, who transferred. We talked about Brooks, defensive lineman Isaiah Hastings and Anquan Barnes both left, and now you're talking about a guy that I feel like really hurts because you've put so much time and effort into this guy. And we saw him play, and he was good, and he was getting better. And then when you lose guys to the NFL and obviously graduation, you're going to need him. Alabama only has 3 guys that are in that spot now for next year. So when you look at, what things are going to be like next year tackles-wise, you got Caden Proctor, Miles McVay, and then Wilkin Formley, and then that's it. So what are you going to do? Going to have to go out there and replenish. You'll do that with this week's National Signing Day, transfer portal. Alabama going to bring in some guys to help out there as well. But I hated to see this because I really thought that in the future that Pritchard was going to be a contributor to Alabama. And he was heavily sought after when he committed to Alabama. Programs like USC were after him. And he played in 13 games this year for Alabama. He had limited minutes, but he was still out there a lot. And this is a position that you look at and you're like, you got to have these guys. This is the difference between winning and losing. And this offensive line group has gotten better throughout the year. Talked about Ja'Cory Brooks leaving, and now he's going to be with the Louisville Cardinals. And I wish him nothing but the best. It was really tough for him to get on the field and to make an impact. He just got passed by other receivers, and that's kind of part of what the transfer portal is about to me. Unlike Pritchard, I felt like Brooks was kind of being left behind. So this is an opportunity for him to go somewhere else and see if he can make an impact on a different team. Louisville throws the ball a lot. I think that he kind of hit his ceiling in Tuscaloosa. He's still going to be remembered for one of the great catches in Iron Bowl history, the touchdown that he caught from Bryce Young at the waning moments of Bryce Young's amazing drive in 2021 to help Alabama stave off what would have been just a devastating loss down on the plains. Hey, we've heard this before, right? Well, that game went, 4 overtimes. It doesn't get there if Brooks doesn't make that amazing catch. So he's out of here too. And, we'll see what happens with Bama as far as wide out options in the college football playoff. But I feel pretty comfortable that Alabama's got options. Obviously, Isaiah Bond has become someone that everyone loves to talk about, but Jermaine Burton has made a ton of catches this year for the Crimson Tide. Cedric Law, you got a lot of other guys that are going to be able to jump in there. And I just felt like this is just kind of a result of the bad timing that the NCAA has set up for this transfer portal. You don't want to lose your backup quarterback like Texas is or did, or maybe he's staying until, I don't know, the season's over. But the way that this transfer portal is set up and the window to transfer, they need to move it back. They need to move that back, in my opinion, and take the National Signing Day with it so that teams that are in bowl games and playing for a national championship aren't distracted by stuff like this. And the players can play through. If they want to transfer, they transfer when the season's over, but they'll finish their commitment. They'll play out their commitment, as these bowl games roll on. But Alabama's going to be without a really good backup tackle on the offensive line, and they're going to be without a receiver. And we'll see as this thing goes on if other guys end up joining and transferring from the capstone. But Alabama's preparing to take on Michigan in the Rose Bowl. It's going to be one heck of a football game down in Pasadena, the granddaddy of them all. The winner of that game will head to Houston to play in the national championship. Michigan, number 1, Alabama, number 4. Alabama trying to become the first team to beat back-to-back number 1 teams during a season. Not like happen and then the next year. I'm talking about back-to-back weeks or back-to-back games beating a number 1, obviously not weeks. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. First off, I want to thank Pearl River Resort for being part of what we do here. It's a great time of year to swing over there. You got the spa. Depending on the weather, you can get out on the Dancing Rabbit golf course, which is known as the Augusta You Can Play. And it's one of the best courses in the South, the best course in Mississippi. I'm talking about an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours from Birmingham. But they've got the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook, which is also a real fantastic option as well. Also, don't forget, as you gear up for Christmas, that if you are going to get maybe the new Gravedigger print from New Life Art, you want that for Christmas, or the Legacy Continued, or you just whatever they have over there. Right now with the promo code Bama Tailgate, you get 15% off of your entire order. So that's newlifeart.com. The Gravedigger print was revealed this week, and it is really cool. So check that out. And finally, we're proudly presented by our partner, Chad Anderson at Modern Lending. He's helped over 10,000 families get into homes and businesses. He's an investment consultant and an Airbnb expert. Find out more information at This Chad Is Real, chadanderson.info. That's Modern Lending. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and roll tide to all of you.